scoop, scooby-dooby-dooby-dooby-dooby-dooby. Yeah. Suck me, beautiful. We talk about MILFs beating off, and we actually kind of talk about the movie in this episode. It's the namesake of the podcast. We watched American Pie for this week's episode of...
Well, we'll just tell your mother that we ate it all.
Hit record with Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
What was that show?
I never watched it either.
I don't. Was it just like YouTube's funniest home videos, but done like classily with
him wearing
GJW or whatever,
wearing a sweater vest. JGL.
J whatever.
You think of George W. Bush? Hit record with George W. Bush.
LG, life's good.
Would you rather watch that with George W. Bush or George H.W. Bush?
George W. Man.
LJR.
All the way with LJ. Ah, fuck.
Oh boys, so it's been 24 hours.
Yeah, it has been only 24 hours.
What's everyone been up to?
I don't know. Did you smoke crack cocaine last night?
No. I ate a bunch of marijuana cookie and smoked some marijuana.
Did you mention crack cocaine at all?
Only in the context of telling my friend how my day was on the pod.
Okay, so you're cured, basically. Mental illness can be cured by the power of podcasting.
Either that or my addiction to crack can be supplemented by podcasting. It's like a Nickelbait situation for crack.
Yeah.
Is this like where the pod is now? We get a crack update.
I think we're going to have to substitute famous recurring bits out just to make sure that Andy's not going to kill himself.
I'm doing better today. It turns out not doing a shitload of drugs makes the next day a little better.
Yeah.
You think after 3 days of consecutive drugs, just looking at yourself being like, why am I so depressed? You'd put two and two together.
I'm not counting, like weed was cool. I'm not counting. Like I'm not like a weed isn't a drug guy. I know it's a drug.
The way you just said weed is cool sounds like you think weed is a friend of yours. Just like, yeah,
he's a cool guy.
I was hanging out with weed the other day.
Look, I know that sometimes he can be a bit obnoxious, but he's really helped me out with some tough spots. He's always been there for me when I've needed him. Except for all those times he wasn't. What did you guys get up to last night?
This is the worst way to start this episode.
Yeah, what did you guys get up to last night?
I went and watched the footy with Nico Malian, and
Name drop.
Sydney Swans won, and then he and I got very drunk, and then I went to a party with the girl I'm seeing, and she handed me a drink, and I took a sip, and she said, "It has drugs in it."
What drugs did it have in it?
Crack cocaine. Rose beat you to the punch, bitch.
How the tables have turned.
So good.
Rose is currently fashioning an empty beer bottle into a pipe.
What drugs are in the drink?
It had MDMA sprinkled in it.
Sick.
But I don't think it really did anything to me. It was towards the end of the drink.
Sure.
She was having a good time, though.
I watched Buffy.
Hell yeah. So where'd you get? You finished season 1?
I finished season 1. I'm a couple episodes into season 2.
I remember the last episode of season 1 being heaps good.
It's very
good. The last
good.
episode of season 1 I quite like.
It's still very good.
Yeah, Alison Hannigan, I must say, is growing into a fine young woman.
She has blossomed.
Well, what an in.
Yeah, it's very
today.
It's
too early. It's too early.
We got
No,
another
we
15
can't.
minutes of this.
Anyone got anything about Rooney Tower they wanted to talk about?
What did you do last night, Jamie?
Fuck, what did I? Oh yeah, I went to Jamie's house to have a few drinks.
I swear to God, if you smoked weed with him...
No, I didn't.
Fuck.
But I told him about it, and we came up with this theory that just because, and I think we talked about it yesterday, but just because you do so many drugs, you just think that I'm the most virtuous, pious man that's ever lived. He was like, every time someone brings up marijuana, I'm slapping it out of their hand, being like, say no! When I've smoked weed, since I was 14. Like,
oh, really?
I smoked weed before, I'd lost my virginity and had a drink. I was a pretty cool kid.
You're in Holland, though, so...
No, I wasn't.
Oh, really? This was...
No, we moved. We had, one of those little hash pipes, and we went to... Because it was Kellyville... They were kind of developing houses everywhere, so we used to they'd make those flat slabs where they'd eventually build the house, so we used to go there and fucking skateboard / raise a scooter.
Man, I get fat slabs down the bloody beach every morning.
I got a bloody fat slab for you now.
Oh, man.
I reckon I've got one that's fatter.
Yeah, and slabbier.
Man, I don't do so many drugs, okay? I do some drugs
You've
sometimes.
been talking for the last 3 episodes about how you're interested in crack cocaine.
You put some sort sort of drug in your body almost every day.
Yeah.
Weed's not a drug.
It's an herb, man.
Man, it's from the earth, dude. Like,
Yeah.
it grows out of the fucking ground, man.
This guy loves Bill Hicks.
Yeah. Occasionally
Podcasting in E minor.
Yeah. Occasionally when Andy speaks, just the devil appears behind him for a 1 second flash.
Oh. Yeah, no. It's because
Tell us what you think about Jay Leno.
That's such hot takes, dude. Oh man, Johnny's in the basement.
But
cooking
yeah,
up the medicine.
I smoked weed for the first time when I was 14, and then went home and made a few crank calls. It was great.
That's pretty fun.
But most of the prank calls were just us calling someone and laughing until we just hung up.
So what did you do?
We used to do a lot of drunken prank calls.
Yeah, I used to do that.
I would call people under the guise of someone who's was only known as Fingers.
I prank called someone
like this.
Anyway, that's pretty funny.
But he wanted funds to set up a tennis club in Helensburgh.
Fingers Tennis Club. That's
It
cool.
was based on a real person, apparently.
My uncle lives in Helensburgh. He moved there like recently.
It's
It's like near where you're from, right?
well, it's a bit further south. It's no good.
Yeah, right.
Where people called goon bags, where I'm from, Helensburgh handbags.
That's pretty good.
That's
really good.
cool.
Yeah.
Man, I made a prank call last like 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago.
To who?
The school captain of my old school.
That's so funny, considering you were just talking about being invited to your high school reunion.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna say that too.
What did you say to him?
I can't remember. I was real drunk.
You're like, it's Andrew Hastings, and you made me feel bad about myself.
No, we were like friends in high school. He was like a close friend of mine in high school, but then we sort of fell out of touch after school because he was like a snooty young liberal
Was
prick.
the school captain a nerd in your school, or like a popular person?
He was like a nerd with some, like he was like a nerd. He was the top of the year academically.
Yeah.
But he did some
So
sport
he was Freddie
and
Prinze
wasn't
Jr.
a total freak.
Had
But he
that-
was a big nerd. Like
Freddie
he got,
Prinze Jr.
he,
and
wa-
she's all that.
he definitely wasn't cool. But
Yeah.
Ours was like...
he was like
cool
on paper cool.
Dude. But a cool dude, but like a genuinely like heaps nice dude.
Ours was like a real social dude, but dumb as opposed. But also now has a real good job.
Yeah, ours was.
Yeah, he is doing very well, our guy. Him and his brother are rich as fuck, and they fuck a lot.
The Ibrahims.
Hell yeah. All right, man. So what'd you do with Jamie last night? If was it fun? Did you have a good time?
You should see your body language right now. Yeah, we had a good time, man.
What'd you do?
We had some drinks, got real deep, talked about who we thought was funny and stuff like that. Your
Oh, yeah.
name
Cool, man.
did come up. But no, we didn't. We just
Alright, dude.
hung out for a little bit.
Okay. That's, all right.
Are you okay? Are you
man,
gonna be fine?
You're sending him back into a spiral.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm.
Does the idea that I have friends upset you greatly?
No, dude, I'm normal. I'm okay, man.
In a minute, we're gonna hear a 5-minute yelling spree about how Andy hangs out with other people as well. I've got plans on Tuesday.
You gonna be at Cactus tomorrow?
I am, yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Are you gonna be there?
Yeah, can I get on? Can I get I'll have a beer.
Yeah, you gotta sign up. Baby.
I'll sign up. I'll do a spot. We'll have a beer after. It'll be good. I
Yeah.
got a date after, but we can.
Jamie will probably be there. We can.
Oh yeah, cool.
We can all hang out together.
Yeah. So Jamie's definitely going to get on if he signs up. He's definitely. You're going to
mean-
get Jamie a spot if he signs up,
I mean, he's like royalty. At
Yeah,
Cactus
right,
Juice,
okay,
man.
cool.
They love him so much.
and I'll get a spot too.
They love.
Right?
I mean, you might.
soy.
You were on last week.
Skim.
Soy. Oh man.
That's like the person going into the office the next day.
You'd be-
trying to-
yeah.
And then he was like, soy, and they get the whole way through. They go, oh, hang on, no, it's skim. Oh, I messed it up. I'm sorry.
That's what I'm like on stage.
Yeah. I've been a bit like that lately too.
Yeah, I've
but I
done a
think
few
it's
of those recently.
I think it's because I keep being like sort of tipsy when I'm performing, and I'm just like trying to be all loose, and then go, I don't remember what I was talking about.
I think I'm just riding the lightning too hard. I lose track. You know what I
I
mean?
always ride the lightning too hard. No, that's not how that song goes.
I don't know how the song goes at
Yeah,
all.
neither do I. I'm not a huge Metallica guy.
Me neither.
I like Master of Puppets.
I like the
Dun, dun,
Unforgiven
dun.
too.
You like what?
The Unforgiven too.
That would not be critically loved, but I reckon that song is good.
No, what's the one where I think we've already. I can't
How's it
believe
going?
I'm going to say this, but I think we've already discussed a Metallica video clip on the podcast. What's the one where they swing on the pendulum?
The memory
All of them.
remains.
It's every Metallica video.
Everyone.
Every Metallica video is set in a graveyard on a pendulum.
It's the memory remains.
Yeah. I'm almost certain we've already talked about it on the podcast.
What's
I
the
don't
Blink
think
182
we
video where they're like kind of like fun dudes having a good time?
Yeah, that's I Miss You.
I was gonna say stay together for the kids.
Man, that's like...
Stay Together for the Kids is such a juvenile song about
yeah.
divorce.
It's
It's so
irresponsible.
funny.
It's like,
Yeah.
no, divorce, if you hate each other, you should actually stay together for the kids.
Why is there so
Bro,
much
if your
pain?
parents split up, you can like get shit out of them. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I wish I knew that at the time.
My girlfriend, Yvette, I'm going to say Yvette, the listener by now knows my girlfriend's name.
Mm.
Yvette broke a 3-month silence with her dad to ask for money the other day and just asked her mum for money. Said it was for the same thing, doubled up, profit, baby.
That's some good shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love a good scam.
Hey, what if he listens to this podcast?
If he listens to this podcast, he would have already cut off contact with her. So it's, or, you know.
And sent the goons to your apartment.
you checking the email address for nudes from Yvette's dad?
I would love...
He's just like, the fucker asks for nudes all the time. I'm going to send him the cheesiest dick pic he's ever seen.
cheesiest dick
Yeah,
pic.
extra
It's like a fucking mozzarella roll.
extra
Lord.
fresh mozzarella.
Yucko.
a bit of pecorino cheese.
Hell yeah.
I like getting my little
Probably
pecorino.
smells like parmesan
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh.
My
I love getting my little
testicles
pecorino
are-
up.
Yeah, my testicles are gorgonzola
What?
because they like come in balls.
Yeah, like bonconcini too, I guess.
Bocconcini, that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Well,
you're
gorgonzola's
thinking
something different.
Gorgonzola's a wheel.
Arancini's a rice ball, isn't it?
Oh yes.
It's like
This
a,
is the content.
it's like a
that
risotto
the-
ball.
This is the content that the fans
I
love.
ate some
Yeah,
arancini.
this is totally where I saw this.
This is where we excel.
I
I fucking-
we watched this movie.
I fucking love arancini. It's so good.
I love Aaron Cheney.
Yeah, he's pretty good. He's a good guy.
That's a good way. All right, guys, welcome to We'll Just Tell Your Mother We Ate It All, a podcast about arancini balls. I'm your host, Jamie Kirk, joined by the very funny
Rose Piper.
and the very funny.
Andrew doing fine. Hastings.
Yep, and you're just as good as Jamie to hang with and as a comic, if not better.
Crack attack.
If
Hastings.
not better.
Don't make me do this. Don't make me do this on the podcast, man. Don't make me.
Came about the time that you and I were hanging out alone.
Oh yeah, I remember that. That was a good hang, dude.
That was
That was a
really
real good
good.
hang.
And we kind of kissed.
Yeah, we
a bit,
kissed.
held each other
I
afterwards.
put my finger in your butthole. I remember that.
Yeah,
That
I
was a good
really
one.
enjoyed that actually.
Yeah, it was good.
I'm just
I had
sick
a-
of
me in a
having
good spot.
people be more important to me than I am to them.
There's something so genuine about that as well. It's happening.
Hey, this is Big Ep 20,
Yeah.
baby.
Hey, we
watched-
made it.
We watched a special one. for
Haters
this,
will say
even
it's
though this is
photoshopped.
This is in no way a milestone, but we watched.
No, but we
20
did it,
We watched
baby.
the namesake film
Yeah.
of the podcast.
We watched American Pie, and I guess with the title of the podcast, you can probably guess that we all love it and revere it. Otherwise, it would be such a weird thing to call it.
Yeah.
My first note here is iconic. I would say this film is. I would say it's iconic. I would say also it's the only movie I can think of where the title of the movie is a euphemism for a pussy. So I like it for that reason.
Oh, I wonder if that's true.
Oh, it's absolutely true. Pie is like definitely.
No, I mean, I wonder if that's the only one.
Oh no, there'd be others.
There's got to be more.
There'd have to be more.
Yeah.
Snatch.
Yeah, Snatch, definitely.
But that's different there, isn't it?
Yeah, the Snatch.
Like,
refers
it's not
to
intended
stealing.
to be-
No.
Yeah, but I think it was like a bit.
Josie and the Pussy.
He was being a bit cheeky.
What about
Shake it up.
a bit cheeky, love. Have some eel pie.
Oh, but what about Octopussy?
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Octopus is pretty
Octopussy.
For your eyes only, that probably refers to a pussy.
Pussy. Yeah.
Yeah, but Bond really derails us here.
Eyes
Goldfinger.
wide shut. Has
Moonra-
that got something to do with the eye of a pussy?
It's like Sauron, dude.
yeah. 2001: A Space Odyssey. Those 2 zeros are pussies. Apparently.
Sauron's eye does kind of look like
That
a
is
pussy.
a pussy.
It's absolutely.
That's been heavily covered on the internet, surely.
Nah, who cares?
like
I've
a-
never been on the
A
internet.
fire puss.
You know what I like to heavily cover? A pussy.
And
What, yeah, I don't like to say that at all.
no, yeah, I
like,
like to put
cover it up.
put a burger on it.
oh no.
American Pie is a 1999 American teen sex comedy film written by Adam Hertz and directed by brothers Paul and Chris Weitz in their directorial film debut. It is the first film in the American Pie theatrical series. It was a box office hit and spawned 3 direct sequels and 4 direct-to-video sequels. The film concentrates on 5
It
best
doesn't
friends.
say 4 awesome direct-to-video sequels there. You sure you didn't
Yeah,
miss
but
a
you can
word?
see the edit where it says Rose Piper 4 minutes ago. The film concentrates on 5 best friends, Jim, Kevin, Oz, Finch, and Stifler, who attend East Great Falls High. With the exception of Stifler, who has already lost his virginity, the guys make a pact to lose their virginity before the high school graduation. The title is borrowed from the song of the same name and refers to a scene in the film in which the protagonist is caught masturbating with a pie after being told that third base feels like warm apple pie.
They've gone into so much.
This is the best Wikipedia introduction we've read so far. Writer Adam
You're
Hertz
welcome.
has stated that the title also refers to the quest of losing one's virginity in high school, which is as American as apple pie. Guys, this movie cost $11 million to make.
Yeah.
What do you think the box office was?
Whatever it was not enough. $4 trillion.
I'm gonna say
like 150.
130.
You're both very wrong.
Yeah.
Right.
It's $235 million.
Wow, so
Hey.
it was a huge.
It was a
Big ups
huge
to
hit.
Jason.
Hey, while we're on good Wikipedia
Biggs.
things, can I just read this snippet of a Wikipedia article, which is just so funny to me? The song makes reference to a shorty who is in a club wearing apple-bottom jeans and boots with fur. Shorty also wears baggy sweatpants and Reeboks with the straps.
Hell yeah.
The lyrics repeatedly suggest that Shorty is extremely attractive and possesses great skill in dancing provocatively.
Hell yeah.
In particular, the song describes one of her more memorable dance sequences as giving her buttocks, colloquially referred to as booty, a smack prior to getting low.
Hell yeah.
I
So
can't
what
be-
song? Hold on.
I can't believe Don McLean wrote all that.
I was going to go for such a similar joke.
Yes, bitch.
Go on, say it.
I was going to say, are you on the Wikipedia article for Sway by Bikram?
Yeah.
Or... No, that's the best reference I could have gone
So
with.
this is the first one in a while that I
One
think
week by
we
the Bare
can
Naked Ladies.
that we can bring back one of the original conceits when we were discussing the podcast, which has since long been abandoned in favor of talking about open mic minutia, much to Alfie Canic's anger. And by the way, special shout out to Dirty Thunder Radio Network. Fuck you for putting an Instagram story saying we're the redheaded stepchild of this. We're the only people that get fucking listeners. No one wants to hear what Pat and Alfie are up to genuinely. I'd much rather us say Alfie's a sex predator and that Pat's a gorgeous man. Like, what's the point of putting Pat Doherty on audio? Like, I know Alfie's got a face enough for radio for both of them, but like,
I feel like you can hear Pat smiling.
yeah, I can feel Pat's high kick getting me in the back.
Yeah.
But yeah,
We're the flagship of this shit. Don't even try.
yeah, fucking promote us beyond just shouting us out on Facebook occasionally. Sink some money into a Canic.
The fact that you don't realize that we are your meal ticket and you are not utilizing the incredible tools you have at your disposal means that you are so
It's
far
like
gone.
having a massive dick that can only get hard with Viagra. So it's like combining Rose and Hastings to form one super loser.
Imagine having a small dick and only being able to get Viagra. How does that
man.
feel?
I can
I do have a note on the...
Oh,
American-
no. Can I go back to what I was saying before I
please,
went on my
please
diatribe?
do.
This is the first time we can use the actual conceit of, like, we all have personal history with this movie.
Absolutely.
The last,
Yeah.
I think, 4 movies, we've all, like, either been too young or
Or it was
not,
just
like...
some movie you watched and then never
Yeah, that was
returned to.
garbage. So let's talk, let's start with you, Andy. When was the first time that you watched this movie?
The year was 2001. I was in year 5 at school. I was 11 years old. I noticed that my parents had hired the video for American Pie, starring Jason Biggs, Tara Reid, etc.
Yep. That's the cast order.
Around 8 p.m. that evening, before my 9 p.m. bedtime, I started to feel a little sick, let's say.
Was your penis throwing up white liquid?
I started to develop a little bit of a sore throat, a little bit of a cough. I had some stuff I needed to spend the day at home for. The next day, I thought, well, while I am sick, I may as well, check out this movie they absolutely didn't conspire to see. And I think I came 9 times that day.
Yeah.
Gee whiz.
I have no idea. It was a good movie. I also...
Did you like it
Was it
when
just
you were...
during the first scene?
Yeah. Did you like it
I
when you
loved
were
it.
in year 5?
I thought it was... I didn't get all the jokes, but
No,
I thought
me
it was.
neither.
I thought it was very funny. And for the same reasons I do now.
And all right, so we'll talk about impressions now of it later. But like Rose, when was the first time you saw it?
I think I was probably 12 or 13 or something like that. And I think we all watched it. I think we did a double feature and we watched it and the second one at like a friend's sleepover party.
Sick.
Or something like that. And we all got sick.
The cold coming on.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, James.
And then we all jerked each other off.
Yeah, it's so interesting. Like when you watch those kind of movies or anything with like a group of boys when you're young, because that's all you're used to. Like you don't know what, you don't know what it's for. Like me and my friends used to look at pictures of the Spice Girls naked.
Yeah.
Like when it was 1996,
When
because
there
we
were
were
those
like,
really
yeah,
chunky Photoshop jobs.
But
Yeah.
no, because like Jerry Halliwell had been in like nude pictorials and stuff before. So, but
Like,
then
do we
it's
know
just
that
like
my housemate is standing
Yeah.
behind,
But it's just
seductively
like-
eating a banana.
Yeah. So, but it's just like 5 dudes standing at a computer with hard-ons being like, so
Oh,
what
yeah.
before you know what jerking off is, being like, so
Oh,
what do we
yeah.
do?
Heaps. Hours of that
Like,
shit.
this rules.
Real sex on
Just like,
HBO?
feels great.
Real sex on HBO. I remember I watched this scene. Like, there's this like piece
I
on
used
there.
to watch a bit of that.
Yeah. About a women fucking like sex robot doll things. But it was like the women fucking him. And it was pretty revolutionary. I was like, well, I guess I gotta go to sleep now.
Yeah, I got this thing.
Yeah,
But
pretty
yeah,
wild
the first
shit.
time I saw the movie had just like finished its run in cinemas when I moved here to Australia, and it wasn't in cinemas in Holland yet. So like,
Did you have a Dutch accent?
no. Next question. No. Well, I went to an international school, so it was all British and American people.
So you have a British
British
accent because you're British.
I had like, probably more of a British accent.
Because you don't sound like you have an accent at
No,
all.
I'm a
man.
bloody ocker.
I was very
And
surprised
I really like your knockers.
to hear that you were not from Australia,
Yeah. But so moved here, like
which I'm just finding
I
out now.
was in I was in year 7, so I was 13. Everyone had seen it because people were just starting to get into like the idea of fingering people and stuff in my ear. So
Old man
they were
Kirk.
so they were always so like people were quoting it and stuff. I
Took
remember
you a while to actually get into the act of fingering someone.
Yeah, but once I did
I made up for lost time.
yeah, the
baby.
hand was charged so much that it went nuclear. Destroyed a pussy just so much that I killed a woman the first time I fingered her. Through
Hey, me too,
pleasure.
but it was very genuine.
I just did it with a regular knife.
yeah.
But I remember so clearly because like I hadn't seen it, and it was kind of a thing where the cool kids had all seen it, so they kind of like looked down on people who hadn't seen it. Like, what, you haven't seen American Pie, you virgin? And
I
you're
feel
like,
like it was probably a bit like that.
yeah, and you're like, you're a virgin too. But I remember some like in art class, maybe my second art class ever. The hottest girl in my year, her name was Lauren Gray, said something, and then this cool like one
that
of the
sounds
cool
like the
yeah.
name of the hottest girl.
Yeah,
in some
one
way.
of
Yeah.
the cool kids piped up in the middle of class and went, "Shut up, Lauren, I'll give you a tongue tornado." And that was the first like quote I'd heard.
Little did she know she'd actually really like that.
Yeah, well, which is
Yeah.
such a funny thing to think that like, oh, you guys missed the point so much that this is about giving women pleasure,
Yeah,
and you're
yeah.
using it as a threat. Just like, shut up.
I will make you come so fucking hard.
I will give you multiples if you don't
I'm
shut
gonna
your
make you
fucking
feel
mouth.
amazing.
Yeah, and it's not going to be about me. But so I was like, people were talking about
Maybe
it.
that was
Then,
it. He was
after
actually-
you're finished and satisfied, only then will I enter you.
No, maybe that was it. He was actually just super progressive, and he secretly wanted her to keep talking because he wanted to hear what she had to say, and then he also wanted to give her immense pleasure in the bedroom.
I know the guy. I don't think that's true. But yeah. So obviously, it became kind of like a holy grail thing. Like, I got to see this American Pie. Movie downloading was not really a huge thing on 56k modems. Then you had to be like a rich Russian
Did you
guy
just say
or something.
modems?
Yeah, modems.
Modems?
Yeah, modem hose. That's what I want mo of.
Yep.
So about a year later, obviously, it came out on video, went to Blockbuster, and he immediately snapped it up. Put it in, invited 4 of my other loser friends over, and we watched it in my room where, for some reason, the brightness was really fucked on the TV. So we watched it
Are you okay hearing about him?
having
watching
other
this
friends.
movie with-
Yeah,
with
it
these
was
other
me
friends?
and Jamie Jowono.
We all have history.
Jamie. Suck me, beautiful.
My friends call me Nova. So yeah, we watched it on extremely low contrast, which meant we were all like kind of right up against the TV.
Like what-
This really old box.
One
One
TV.
pixel per nipple.
Essentially, we were watching it the way that Jim watches the scrambled porn
Oh,
in the
yeah,
very
yeah,
first
yeah.
scene. But when, like, we were laughing, being like, we're finally seeing it, and then Nadia gets naked, we were quiet for the rest of the movie. And then just like,
Everyone's
the credits rolled and we were like, yeah, who wants to watch
Watch
it
it
again?
Yeah, sick.
So that's the first time we've all saw it. So obviously, I mean, we all seem so fond of it. But let's talk about what we think about it now. Hastings, did you like the movie?
It's maybe the perfect movie. It's maybe my favorite comedy ever made. It'd be that or some dumbass Wes Anderson shit or something. It's probably that. It's definitely that. Soundtrack, iconic. The cast, iconic. The jokes still hold up. Quotable, notable, loving it every day.
Yeah, for a movie that, it's so crazy.
It's like the most eloquent you've ever sounded.
He's been waiting 20 episodes for this. For a movie that, it still holds up so well, apart from one very questionable part that I assume we'll get into at length later. But I loved it.
No, that's not till the second one where the two dudes kiss. That's not till the second.
Yeah, that was... when I saw that, I was like...
That part
No,
too,
but they
right?
make up for that by having two chicks kiss.
Yeah, but when I'd already walked out by that point, I was like, refund. There is some gay shit happening.
Yeah.
And
I actually called my pastor immediately.
yeah. I asked my mum to give me a lift home because I was too turned on from watching. But the movie still holds up. It's fantastic. I also give it very special props because it really was a bonding experience for me and Andy last year at Melbourne Comedy Festival. That's when kind of this podcast became like a genesis, because at first we were saying we should write a fringe show that's like a stage play kind of updated teen sex comedy. And then we thought that would be too hard to make progressive. Why don't we just talk about a podcast so we could just talk about
too
titties?
hard to make, period, was also a blocker of the problem.
Yeah, we're also
Talking
lazy.
shit in our houses, now that's easy.
Yeah, we're like, all right, well, what do we have about Harry June, who we love? He's a good friend of ours. Rose, obviously, what do you think about the movie?
Loved it. Like, it holds up so well. It's like, it really, like... for the most part, passes the woke test. Like,
Yep.
Anything that's like real grotty is like something that like that character would do. Like,
I do not believe that it passes the
homophobia
Bechdel test, though.
Probably not.
No, I
only think of like two scenes.
I cottoned onto that later in the movie where it's like everything the girls talk about is about fucking some dude.
Yeah.
I think maybe there's a bit where the music choir chicks talk about just music.
If
but
it's a background scene, it has to be like a scene.
yeah.
Yeah, also, the cast is unbelievably white, but I don't care.
Yeah, well, they've got the Cho. They've got John Cho, baby.
Yeah.
All he does is say MILF.
Yeah, which is so iconic. Like
That's true.
that-
He
that-
coined it like that.
That is like...
That is the first term I heard. The first time I heard the term MILF.
I think
Does
they
it come from American
No, I'm
Pie?
almost certain they coined it, which means
as far as I know, it
they
comes from-
coined an entire subgenre of porn.
porn.
Like that was just
Which would
sitting
become
there.
very fun to me.
Yeah, that people were just sitting there for ages, being like, "What do I call it when someone wants to fuck a mom?" And then they're like, MILF hunting."
Yeah.
So like, there's that. Like, there are so many things that are still iconic. Like, obviously, we'll just tell your mother we ate it all. The line and podcast are iconic.
Yeah.
The just fuck me beautiful is so good. Fuckers.
Yeah.
There's so many parts of it that are still so endlessly
Scoop,
quotable.
Scooby, dooby, 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 doo
Yeah,
up. Yeah. that's
I mean,
pretty
I
iconic.
still sing "Do You Believe in Magic" occasionally, and I've not heard it outside
I
of the
don't think
context
it
of the
exists
movie.
outside of the movie.
It must.
I
do,
feel like
right?
I may have
in
once.
magic. I have a MILF story.
Please.
Hit me, baby, one more time.
Yeah, that was good. I do have that in my notes. Has anyone ever fucked or wanted to fuck a mom?
No, I didn't. This is actually not a fucking story.
I haven't fucked a mum, but I have fucked someone who, when I was 23, was 41.
I fucked a mum. I just remember
A big one?
Like an average size one. But she's my age though. We met on Tinder. Sex was pretty good.
Okay, so what's your MILF story?
So my MILF story is I fucked this mum this one time on Tinder.
This one time on Tinder, I fucked a MILF.
No, so I was in like year 8 or year 9, and this kid got picked up from school one day by his real hot mum, and everyone in the playground, the car park's like near the playground, everyone in the playground just started going, MILF, 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 like just freaking out about a MILF and yelling MILF at this poor woman. It was all boys' school. Next day, full school assembly going, yesterday, it was the vice principal who was very angry. Yesterday, there was an incident. People were yelling
such a
out
good actor.
something inappropriate to the Do not say.
Please
that
tell
word.
me you said
do,
MILF.
Do not say MILF. Do not. he built up to it, and then he just had to be like, don't say MILF. Like,
I love the idea that maybe after that assembly, the actual principal is like, yeah, she a MILF dough. And then the vice principal slaps him high five and says, yeah, what that mouth do?
oh, man, all the
You
time,
have to say
man.
Milmta.
No, all the time.
Mum, I'd like
Mum,
to
to
make
make-
love to.
When I was in like year 11 or 12, I'd always be hanging with my dad because he was the year 7 coordinator. He'd be like,
Bet that made you look real fucking cool.
What about Miltep? Mum, I'd like to eat pussy.
yeah,
Eat pussy of.
Miltepo.
go
Yeah.
down on
Miltepo.
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 I love
It's
a
a foreign
Miltepo.
thing.
Man.
Um,
Is it eat? Well, anyway, see, me and my dad would hang, and he would be like, "Yeah, that kid, John Smith." I go, "Man, parent teacher is such a fucking milf, dude." Like,
Your dad is like a reprehensible dude.
Yeah, nah, he
Yeah.
rules.
It's shocking.
yeah, I should call him.
I had I think I know 2 MILFs from when I was in school. One was
I was.
There was a few milfs.
I'm not going to say who it was, but I was desperately in love with my friend's mum.
oh man, can you tell us off pod? I won't mean anything to us because we don't know 'em,
Yeah, you won't
obviously.
know them.
But my friend Josh's mom was considered a MILF. It's funny because like we were starved for like
Your
full on.
mother-in-law's pretty cute.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll leave it at that.
she's beautiful. She looks exactly like her daughter, who's very beautiful.
Oh, she listens to this, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah, what's up?
Cool. Can't wait to have you as my new stepfather. Nah, that'd never happen. She'd never sink herself to that level. And also, Adrian's the best.
Tread
dude.
very carefully here.
Also, Adrian's the best dude in the world.
I do like Adrian.
Yeah.
He's a good guy.
So you could never cock him.
Nah, I couldn't do that to him.
He'd cuck you.
Oh man.
Yeah, that'd probably be what happened. You'd be like, "I'm here to fuck your wife," and he'd be like, "Too late, man. I've already fucked a vet."
Sorry, honey.
He's like, "Also, I've got a way better job than you'll ever have." But we were kind of starved for like.
Wait, you mean he's got a better job than podcaster?
Yeah.
Hey,
And
hey.
almost out of
Open
work.
like a-
Do you know what just occurred to me?
What?
After this episode comes out, I will either be engaged or there will be a rejection from an engagement. Between
Yeah.
now, it's like 3 weeks away. I'm doing it in 8 days from now. On the same day, I'm going to the aquarium.
Yeah, you
I've got gigs that night that I can't pull out of.
You can't go to the gigs.
You-
You can't do that.
You must. You must honor your commitment as an artist.
It's gonna be so funny.
But yeah,
you gotta move the aquarium thing, or you.
it's so
fucking-
easy to move a fucking aquarium ticket
Yeah.
2 days
yeah,
before.
but how do I get? 'cause
You
she
just
bought
call
the-
them and say, "Can we shift it?"
Yeah,
to
yeah,
the
but
day
how
before?
do I tell Yvette?
You say something came up on Monday, I have to meet Lewis Dowell for lunch or something.
Yeah,
But
okay.
also, the day after you get engaged, you probably shouldn't be going off to do gigs too.
Yeah,
sit
so
in the niceness.
I'll do it like Thursday because then I haven't got any more gigs for the rest of the week.
Right.
Yeah, I'll see what I do. Maybe I'll just do the gigs.
You
Fuck it.
gotta hustler's gotta hustle,
That's
baby.
a very bad precedent.
As
Hey, man,
opposed to
she's
So
got
what?
maybe you might get.
The bar is so low
It's
already.
True. It's true. The
You
bar
could
is low.
fall over it.
She, I was thinking about this because Yvette knows,
That's what's going to happen. Is he's going to trip over the bar.
so Yvette knows that I've bought the ring, but I've told her that I'm not giving it to her till like next year sometime.
Right.
So like I'm trying to keep it a surprise or whatever. But the other day she was like talking about how she wanted to fuck my dad, and I was like, you can't fuck my dad. Like I'll break up with you if you fuck my dad. And she was like, I'm gonna fuck your dad. I was like, please don't fuck my dad. And then she was like, yeah, but you've already got the ring. Like you can't.
You can refund rings.
Yeah, that was what I
Yvette.
said.
Just-
But that's what she was just like, man, I'll fuck with you.
Also, like a $7,000 ring. Fucking most girls will take that, dude. You could get a new girlfriend in a snap.
I have been-
guys. Sorry for listeners. $7,500 ring. Thank you very
Admit,
much.
I have. Sorry if you didn't want this, but I have been telling a lot of people that you shelled that amount out for an engagement ring, and everyone is flabbergasted that you spent so much money.
Everyone's flabbergasted that he has money.
I think everyone's sort of like, that I have a girlfriend, let alone
Yeah.
planning on proposing. No, it's exciting stuff.
But that's so much money. Like,
Yeah.
surely you could get a ring that looks almost the same for like a few hundred.
Long-term investment, dude. I want to be able to point to that thing and end any argument for the rest of my life. $7,500, bitch. Not hanging out with your mum.
I don't think you know how healthy relationships work.
Nah, I'm good, dude.
It's not a fucking competition.
Oh man. So I wanted to bring this up about the warm apple pie thing.
Yeah.
Right. Did you have the thing at your school? Because everyone says.
Did you ever fuck a pie?
I mean, no.
I fucked a meat pie.
The thing at my school was
I
people
thought this
said,
is a more Australian version of it. Bit of sauce on
as
top.
you do it, true blue.
I'd love to have a beer with Duncan. Love to have a beer with Duncan.
Yeah.
I'd love to fuck a pie with Duncan because Duncan's me, mate.
Oh man. Yeah. Did you have the thing?
Just interject quickly and say, I heard. Of course, there's a reason it's $7,000 beyond I love my girlfriend. It's to win argument's sake, so you can fuck other people. Of course it is.
Jamie shrieked with laughter from the other room.
I mean, I remember you telling me, and I was like, dude, 7,000 is a lot of money. You're like, yeah, you don't know. Yvette's got real expensive taste. I was like, I don't like.
She does.
Yeah, but you could
She's
still
got-
lie. Like,
She doesn't have real expensive taste in boyfriends.
no.
That's true. Well, that is a point of contention between us. Give me a beer, Jamie. Yeah, did you do the so instead of a pie, a pussy feels like the inside of your mouth?
No.
That was like a thing. We were told that if you gently rub the inside of your cheek, it's what a pussy feels like. It's not, for the record.
I don't think I've ever even heard that.
That was like a big thing, at my school. That was like a huge thing at my school, around about the same time as the American pie, as the apple pie, American pie.
The
thing
inside of your cheek.
I'd just like it to be known that there's
Yeah,
about 2 inches of beer left in Andy's beer.
All right, watch this.
You didn't even finish it.
He didn't even finish.
He's making the face like it's real gross now as well.
Oh, he looks really upset. that
Why
he-
can't you
really
just
gross.
drink a
It's
bottle
really
of beer
gross.
all the way through, you
I finished
Nimrod?
it. Look, I finished it. I'm done. Oh man, I'm wasted now.
Inside of the cheek, really?
Yeah. Just lightly.
No, we're all going to do it right now.
Lightly on the inside.
Oh man, totally. That's what I think pussies feel like.
No, that's like a worn down pussy that
Yeah, that's what a pussy feels like.
Hey, yo. You like a bitch with a worn down pussy? I would like to apologize for what I just said.
Can I just go back? I realized that I got off track again. That
Worn down pussy.
yeah. I was saying that I had no legitimate MILFs in my high school, but of course, when you don't have legitimate, you kind of glom on obsessively to the next best thing. So my friend Michael Finch's mom and my friend Josh Binns'
Your friend
mom.
Paul Finch.
Yeah. They were considered the MILFs. And one time we went through Josh's mum's stuff and found a vibrator, and it was fucking sick. Because we were just waving it around, being like, Josh, imagine your mum fucking herself with this. Not realizing that he probably
would've
didn't think
been-
that was that erotic.
He was probably having the worst day of his
I
life.
fucking love high
Imagining his
school.
mum as a sexual being.
I want to go back, man. Can we go back to high school?
That was
I feel like you should go back.
I actually somehow finished high school.
that was a question.
Did not do well, but then
That was a question I might say for the rankings there. But I did have in my notes what do you think you'd do high school again? So maybe let's not go into it now. Let's do it as a sneak preview for our ranking episode.
Yeah, should we tell people that in not next episode, but the one after, we're gonna rank 1 to 21.
hell yeah.
I mean, it's not going to mean anything because by the time this comes out, we would have already done it probably. Oh, maybe not. But
I don't know, man.
but yeah, did you guys ever fuck inanimate objects? It doesn't have to be a pie.
Mattress.
Yeah.
As in, I jammed my dick between the base of the mattress and the actual mattress itself.
And you did it to orgasm?
to orgasm. I impregnated the mattress.
Sick.
Yeah.
I've
I was
done
11.
I've rubbed my bone against the mattress, but never to orgasm. I also got a boner once at my work desk and rubbed it against the thing there, and that felt pretty tidy.
Pretty tidy. Yeah, okay, man. That's pretty cool.
Is horse
I
count?
got a boner today watching this movie.
Oh, you just glossed over my bestiality joke.
Yeah. Rose, you ever fuck anything inanimate?
I don't think I did.
All right. That's fine. Do you guys think Eugene Levy was snubbed for Best Supporting Actor? Or
Yes,
I
absolutely.
think Eugene Levy is unbelievable in this
There's
film.
a reason.
He's so good.
He's just so funny.
He's so funny.
Yeah,
Like,
there's a reason that they kept him for all the
He's
direct-to-DVD and all the sequels.
I think he might
One,
not,
because he's a whore, obviously.
I think he might not be in the 4th direct-to-DVD. He
Oh,
might
really?
be.
But obviously,
Sherman is in most of them too.
obviously he loves
Sherman's
money.
Sick. I love Sherman.
Mm.
Yeah. I would love money.
Yeah. Well, we can star in a direct-to-DVD American Pie if we want.
All right. Get me that gig. I'll do it.
All right, I'm not your manager, but I will do it. Did you guys ever have a hot exchange chick?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we didn't have. Ours were all dudes, from what I can gather.
They hot?
No.
Yeah.
So I haven't thought about this in years. I obviously went to an all boys school.
Yeah, how did that work?
Well, so we had Japanese was like a big subject at my school. Like we had
Oh,
a
I'm
few-
listening.
Oh yes, Jamie.
Oh, hello. Hello.
Oh
voice.
no! Oh no!
I did it in a regular accent. I just did it in a high-pitched voice.
I feel like there was a bit of a twang there.
No, well, that's on you, brother, not me. Sister, I mean.
Whatever. Love you sometime.
Yeah, dude. All right, tell us about
Saved
this.
it. So we would do like exchange stuff where like a co-ed with a Japanese co-ed school where they'd send students of co-ed. I don't know why it takes so long to explain this. Like boys and girls would come, and there'd be girls like in like Japanese school uniforms and stuff, and it was like pretty sick. And they'd hang out at the school and do learn about Australia and to hang out with the Japanese students, which I like. Japanese was only compulsory 1 year, but like the kids who did it more, they got like billet, like Japanese kids got billeted out to them, and like there was every year there was a story about someone fingering a Japanese student that like happened every year. But I don't think any of them would have been true. Maybe one of them, but I don't think it was like a thing. But
So
yeah, it ruled real hard.
Were they real hard?
Yeah.
What were their names?
I didn't talk to
Are they
them. I didn't say a word.
Did you broadcast them over the internet?
Yeah, dude.
Because you get the announcement sometimes that exchange people are coming and they tell you where they're from before you see them. So about a week before they came, we got an assembly where they said there's 2 women from Sweden coming.
Sick.
And of course,
Whoa.
the amount of pants tense could be heard from far across Kenthurst. Because we're like fucking Swedish chicks. We knew it like Victoria Silvstedt Playmate of the Year from basketball and stuff. And then one of them was really pretty. The other one, not so much. But the other one, who was not so much, was very sexually forwardly aggressive. It was
Right.
great.
Now you're entering Hastings country.
Yeah. Population, you and me, sweetie.
Sick. Do you think?
It's dark and grey.
Do you think? Okay, this is what I was thinking about watching this movie today. I watched it immediately before it came here. It's such a good movie. I can't stress that enough. Do you think that the Stifler trope, which you can see in a few teen sex comedies of this time, your Euro trips, your American Pies, your road trips, Van Wilder kind of starred as this type of character in Van Wilder.
But Van Wilder has a heart of gold. Stifler's like insecure.
Yeah, but Stifler eventually is revealed to have a heart of
I
gold.
also
They
mean it's
soften
like
him
a
quite
plot
lot.
Yeah, but like
I-
not until like the reunion where he's
No,
like.
I'd say like 3. Like 3.
I've only seen 3 once, and I don't really remember it.
I will say, so I don't mean so much as like the core morality, just like the guy, like a character who is an offside to the main character going, yeah, no, fuck bitches, get titties, whatever,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that
yeah.
sort of shit. And then in the more
So
modern
you.
teen sex comedies we've seen, that seems to have been replaced with the Jonah Hill Superbad archetype. Do you think that was a gradual change that just peaked at Jonah Hill, or do you think that Jonah Hill changed the game with Superbad the same way Stifler did with American Pie?
Wow, what an interesting question.
Unfortunately, it's not a good question because, as they teach you in journalism, the longer the question, the shorter the answer. So the answer is no. Let's move on.
No, I think Jonah Hill changed the game.
Yeah.
I would say.
I would say the movie changed the game.
What I'm doing is I'm putting forward a hypothesis as a question.
Well, but-
I'm phrasing it as my opinion as
but
a
I wouldn't
question.
say it's necessarily Jonah Hill. It's like the writing of the movie and like that character.
that character.
That
Yeah,
type of
I-
character.
in the a lot of things went into that character.
Well, see, I think the
Actor,
thing
writer,
was
whatever,
like
director.
why they did that was kind of all right to make this person who acts like Stifler be somewhat sympathetic. We have
we
to,
have to make them fat.
well, we have to make them
I
like a
think that's part of
loser.
it. They serve the same role. In the
He
Like-
wouldn't do it now the way he looks now. He's
But
like
like
fucking tattoos.
Yeah,
and
but like
Yeah,
by all
crack is wild.
yeah, but like by all accounts,
how would you know? You haven't got there yet.
Yeah.
in the first movie,
dream.
even though like a few bad things happen to him, Stifler is unquestionably popular and good with ladies.
Yeah.
And it's only kind of like later in the movie franchise where people are like, oh, the joke should be more on Stifler. But like Stifler's
Well,
going
he-
around telling people to like unwrap their dicks from shrink wrap and stuff. He drinks cum,
Yeah, but
obviously.
that's what I was
like-
about to
that's
say.
like the big.
He drinks cum, and then later he's still able to rally enough people to laugh at Finch doing
Yeah.
a shit in the women's bathroom because he drugged him.
Oh man, I gotta tell you that this actually happened in my high school. Just like an hour before an exam,
Are you
someone
about to get
put
a new nickname called Shit Break?
it wasn't
on
to
this?
me, but someone put a laxative in like a Nerd's Milo ice cream.
That is
Hell yeah.
so.
It's so mean,
It's such a dog act.
but it was so funny. Like you don't get the comical like Foley artist fart like, but you do get
oh,
a
no, you
very
just do like watery shit. And
no,
it just,
well, no, you get this. Like, if you're watching, because like some people knew, and like they eventually like it kind of like Chinese whispered its way around class. It'll be like, "Hey, look at that guy." So it's just like him like shifting in his seat and then getting a very look, and then getting up and not coming back for a long time.
no.
Yeah, that rules.
Yeah.
I mean, it's horrible, obviously.
How do you put a
I mean, bullying's very funny.
Do you ever
how,
take-
do, how do you sneak a laxative into a Milo ice
A
cream?
Milo ice cream, because the Milo ice cream was not like a paddle
Oh, it was
pop.
the tub thing.
Yeah, a tub. So you just fucking grind up the pill, put it in the chocolate, and stir it around a little. Like you learn very quickly never to take like an open container.
Oh yeah.
Because I remember, like, even in high school, like, not when, like, no one tried to date rape me, but, like, someone, like, at parties when you're young.
I've seen someone give someone a vodka cruiser bottle full of bong water.
Yeah.
Oh,
I've seen someone
Jesus.
I've seen, like, piss in a vodka bottle and stuff that's clear.
Yeah,
also
I've done the piss into a like I haven't done it. I saw someone get piss in a beer bong.
Someone has, someone tried to do this to me, like, because before you really start drinking and you have like sleepover parties with your bros, there's kind of like that weird testosterone-y thing about
yeah.
how long you can stay up, and if you fall asleep, you're a weak dog and we'll mess with you.
Yeah.
Someone gave me like a Coke and they'd like suspiciously already opened it, and I was like, oh, someone's put a fucking sleeping tablet in here
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
And like
Where are
two,
12-year-olds getting sleeping tablets?
no, we were like 17.
Oh, right.
And like said,
Mum's not having a good time at
yeah,
the moment.
yeah. Upstairs, there was the most horrendous fight going on between my friends' parents.
Oh really?
No, that would be funny though.
Ah, man. That was pretty hard. I saw a dude scull a bottle of piss at a party, not realizing it was piss.
Well, that was pretty much it. It's like someone was doing a beer bong at this
Yeah.
party I was at.
This is not
And someone
dissimilar
put
to
like
us,
one beer in it, but then someone put another beer which was just full of piss.
So what happened to the one I was at was there was a dude who everyone bullied and made fun of, and admittedly he was a tool. Like he was he was real cunty and like quite homophobic to me and stuff. Like
See,
with
the
his-
guy who got made to drink piss at my party is a very nice guy.
he heard that I like kiss dudes sometimes, and he was like, "You some sort of fucking." It was like real fuck.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I don't really feel bad about what happened to him. Yeah, that's right. I was a victim of oppression. I win, baby.
I thought you were a
I
victim
don't
of
know who you're
depression.
trying to sell this to.
The listener.
It's
Anyone who thinks you're an extremely
It's-
vile human.
It's three
Because of all the
open
gross
mic
things you
comedians
say.
turning to podcasting as a last resort for fame. Like, what?
Pretty
Everyone
real.
knows we're the victim.
Yeah. So anyway, everyone was like, his name. Fuck, I'll say his name. I don't care. You can fight me if you want. So,
Full name:
his name was Spedding. I won't say his first name, but his more identifiable.
Chad
last name.
Spenning.
Yeah, let's call him Chad Spedding. Everyone called him
Spedding sounds like what people would call someone.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
For like,
Spedding
It was
sounds like a
convenient.
sexual
It
act.
is. Spedo or Spedding or Sped, people called him.
yeah. Well, that's what. Yeah, that sped was an insult at my school because it meant special ed.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was
yeah, that's-
retarded.
That's
for-
common.
It was Australian retarded.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah.
I found when I
That's
moved.
Well, no, we said retarded as well.
Yeah, I know, but like I'd never heard sped when I moved
Yeah,
before I
yeah.
moved here. I was like, "Excuse me, what did you say?"
I only ever use the R word when describing like fire suppressing things.
Fire retardants.
Yeah.
It's flame mentally disabled.
Yeah.
It's flame sped.
It's got flame down syndrome. Oh boy!
This isn't cool.
All right, welcome
Anyway,
to Come Down.
So, yeah. Anyway, so fucking. Oh yeah, so Spedding. He was being a real cunt. So someone pissed in an empty beer bottle,
Sick.
sealed it back up, put it in the fridge for an hour.
Oh, that is clever.
For an
Chilled
hour.
piss. Chilled piss.
They put it back in for an hour, and then was like, "Hey, Spedding, you're a fucking pussy. I'm not a pussy. I'll do anything. Skull this." Handed him the beer. He sculled the whole thing. Didn't realize till like right at the end, then threw up immediately in a bush.
Please tell me you said, yo, Spedding, how's the pale ale afterwards?
I did not.
Ah, you missed an
I did
opportunity.
not. I said that after
mate.
it came in his fucking mouth.
So afterwards you're saying that he threw up and then you made him give you a blowjob?
yeah.
Okay. Well, that sounds like you assaulted him. But
He was a real prick. He
so yeah, he was asking for
was
it.
like real homophobic to me. My friends was pretty.
So he
funny.
was asking for it, is what you were
Yeah.
saying to defend yourself.
Yeah.
This movie has convinced me more than ever. We talked about it last episode, but the live episode needs to be a bitching house party.
Absolutely.
Toga
Like-
party.
Like, we've got to figure out a way to rent a house where we can say 50 people are going to come. There's
Yeah.
going to be a professional audio setup.
Can we just play Mutt on loop the whole time? Just like.
Well, no, because we've got to play.
Oh, we've got to do our shitty cover. of
It'd be
Gambit.
good if the house had a pool.
Yeah,
Yes.
it needs to have a pool.
Well, you and I both have pools now, Jamie.
Yeah, but we can't invite 50 people to our pool area.
That would actually be a great plot for a teen sex comedy.
What? Two losers invited?
No,
to...
trying to sneak people in the dead of night into a pool. Oh wait, we did that movie 2 episodes ago.
Yeah.
Damn.
Damn.
Yeah, right. No, it's pretty sick. It was interesting. There are 2 major characters from Orange is the New Black in this film.
Jim.
Who's the other one beside? Oh yeah, Jim.
Oh, Natasha Leon.
Yes, exactly.
That was the first one I thought of.
Yeah.
I've only watched like 4 episodes.
Oh yeah, but
That's
Jim's
right.
like a pretty major
Natasha
character,
Leon
right?
is so good in this movie because
She is good in this
I remember
movie.
the first time I watched it. You're like, she's the ugly one that
Nah,
knows about
she's,
sex.
She's right up my alley.
Yeah,
She's-
but not like.
yeah, I thought she was.
Oh,
Personality
really? When I
wise,
was a
I'm all in.
teenager, you compare her with Tara Reid and Shannon Elizabeth, like her and Alison Hannigan kind of fall off. But now it's the other way around. And Alison Hannigan is insanely hot somewhere around
yeah.
season 1 of How I Met Your Mother
Yeah.
to present. Because
Yeah.
even during Buffy, she was like always the nerd
She
girl.
was made.
or like,
She was made to be like the plain, homely redhead girl, but
Yeah,
she was.
but, like,
she has
even-
a pretty face.
but
By
even
the
when she
start of
got
season
cooler
2 of
in
Buffy,
Buffy,
she's pretty cute.
yeah, but
Like,
even when
and
she
she'll
got
get hotter,
even when
obviously.
she got cooler in Buffy, she never got hotter. She just got like quirkier
and more lesbian, and that's when I was really on board.
Damn, you spoiled Buffy for me. Damn.
Yeah, she turns,
you've got, like-
she turns gay, and it's fucking.
Yeah,
heaps
you've got
good.
like 3 seasons to go till that, man.
Is it that many? I thought it was later.
She
than
turns gay in season 4,
that. Right.
and she stays gay as well.
Yeah, the whole time.
Yeah.
My friend Ali told me a funny story last night. She's a big Buffy fan, and she was saying that she watched because I told her we were doing
American
Pie tomorrow.
the movie we're doing.
The
And
entire
the,
kind
and
of
the movie
basic-
that the podcast is named after.
Yeah, that's all true. Yeah, I told her that we're doing, and she was like, "Oh yeah," and we're watching Buffy, and she was like, "Oh yeah, that's crazy," because I didn't see like Alison Hannigan in American Pie till I'd been watching Buffy for like years and years and was like a huge fan. Like I'd seen all of Buffy a million times. First time she ever sees her outside anything else, she's like talking about shoving flutes up her pussy and stuff. Little Ben Caution, this is rude stuff. You know?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
This is rude.
This will be a good segue into discussing probably the most problematic element of American Pie. But one of the girls
Oh,
who...
boo! I don't want to. I just want to praise it.
No, I mean, like,
Yeah, yeah,
I've
yeah.
got, like, a defense of it anyway,
Yeah.
even
Oh,
though
good.
it's disgusting. But, like, one of the girls who watches Jim doing the dance is credited
yeah.
as Clementine Ford.
I saw that.
Is it for
I
real?
watched the credits.
For real.
Not very woke,
actually saw
Clementine.
I was going to bring that up.
I'm gonna do my own junky article. Like, well, if Clementine Ford's such a feminist, how come she watched this woman get exploited? That would be such a funny, misguided article to write anyway.
so
But yeah,
good.
one of them's called Clementine Ford.
I did
That's
the same
funny.
thing because I wanted to.
Speaking of credits and also that scene, all of our favorite band Blink-182.
Yeah. That's what I
in
was
that
gonna bring
scene.
up.
Rayner.
Yeah, he's credited. Travis
But it's
Barker is
Trevor
credited as
Barker.
Scott Rayner, but then later on, when the music, you know, where they always like list the songs.
Yeah,
that are
yeah,
in,
it's-
he's credited
Hopper's
as Travis
Song.
Barker.
Travis
Like,
Barker is actually a genre of music I'm inventing.
Travis
it's actually
Barker.
this like free running thing.
Yeah, you use drumsticks.
Parkour.
To
yeah.
Yeah, I practice
Barker.
parkour.
Barker. It's you drumming while you're doing flips. and
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
yeah.
That almost definitely exists.
Man, honestly, I don't know that much about drums. Like, of all the music in, at least in pop punk, drums are the part I know the least about. But man, Travis Barker, I know it's like such a cold take. He's such a fucking good drummer. I was thinking about it the other day.
He's very good, but I was thinking about this while I was watching heaps of live stuff on the internet. It's like sometimes sometimes
Does
less
his
is,
own thing a bit too much.
Yeah, less is
Yeah.
more. And he went too nuts and it got too out of sync with
Well,
these two
he's
guys who are
very-
like so much worse musicians
Yeah.
than
Well,
him.
yeah, he's very flashy.
Yeah,
Like, he
yeah.
learned Blink-182's entire live discography in 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Like,
The,
Scott Rayner's thing was just that he could do very fast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was just a punk drummer. The thing, like, I was listening to Adam's song the other day, and like, it's crazy because like he adds so much texture just in the drums. Like the guitar and bass are doing pretty much the same thing most of the song, and he like can change like the whole tone of the song just with like he's so good. Like I've never seen like there's not a lot of drummers that can do that.
Yep.
I don't think.
So
I don't know that much about drums though.
So let's talk about it. Obviously,
The
at the
wokeness.
at the very center of American Pie, because we've been talking about like wokeness and how things hold up. At the very biggest set piece of American Pie is probably something that can no longer be done in a movie, and that's where Jim films Nadia getting naked and masturbating covertly, and invites like. By circumstance, everyone sees it, but
But
at
it's
the
meant to
very
just be him
He
and two
invites
mates.
him. No, it's him, Stifler, Jim,
Yeah.
and Kevin.
He
and
didn't mean for it to get out entirely. He just wanted to.
But he at
Really?
least.
I thought it was
Yeah,
just
I thought
supposed to be him, Kevin, and Finch.
No, I think
No,
it was supposed to be
Stifler's
Stifler
in
because
the
it was
room with
Stifler's. No,
Stifler's in the room with his
Stifler's in the
brother.
room with his brother, but it was
yeah.
Stifler's idea to do it
Oh, right. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
because Stifler reckoned. And this is so out of date. Stifler reckoned that it was a good idea for seduction to film her while it's not watching.
Well, it worked.
But it's never played as like oh, Stifler, that's disgusting. They're just like, oh, Stifler. But,
Can I try and guess your defense of it?
yeah.
Is it that it kind of ends up seeming okay because he gets thoroughly embarrassed by what happens?
Yeah, like obviously when I said
He
defense,
gets his comeuppance, but
Yeah.
that doesn't.
He gets his cum twice up. And
yeah.
Not a lot of stories where you can be like, yeah, look at this fucking idiot, but he came twice in the story. Like, man, that's like he had an alright day.
When I said I had a defense, I was mostly being glib. Like, obviously, you can't really do that anymore. But I was going to say, like, if you want to, like, that the scene is still very fucking funny.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, oh, totally.
Like, there are so many laugh lines in it. Like,
Yeah,
all the cutaways. Like, the moment where Stifler pushes his brother back just because he's laughing at
That
Jim
looks
dancing.
brutal. It's so funny.
Yeah. Jim's dancing is hysterical. The fact, obviously, that Jim gets his comeuppance probably helps, even though the whole thing is very
It would
creepy.
be better if
The
you-
other thing I was saying was, like, women watched it, so I guess it's fine.
Yeah.
The other thing as well is like if you like it would be easy to make the Jim got his comeuppance argument if you had the other characters that we're supposed to like. So maybe everyone except Stifler saying he shouldn't do it, and like Jim was corrupted more. That would make like that a bit easier to take.
I mean, it's so you can't really.
oh no, it's like a sex crime.
Yeah,
You
it's
can't-
It's an absolute sex crime, but it's also one of those things of like, oh, but you would totally do that if you were those characters.
Yeah, it's very.
it's in character.
I think it's also very realistic to a high school student growing up in the late 1990s who's just discovered internet technology. I think in these days, like, and I think like Blockers or something like kind of proves that like kids now know a little bit more about proper internet use. They know a little
Totally.
more about like respecting boundaries. That would not be a plot point. But for someone who's like growing up in the 90s and all of a sudden you're like, oh, I can see a girl I know
yeah,
Naked.
beat one
absolutely.
by a cam.
I mean, they didn't know. Also, like, how unrealistic is it that she's like, I'm just going to get changed.
And then
she takes
beats
5
one,
minutes
yeah.
to get, like, just slowly sexually strips off, then just fully beats off on his bed to his pornos.
Yeah, that's like a dream.
Yeah, that's not a thing that happens.
Yeah. But oh man, I'm good. In my MySpace days, I met this girl, not like in person ever, but one of the
course.
craziest things.
Did you get
like
catfished?
like you send like
Jamie, I got some bad news about
yeah,
that girl.
that was you.
Yeah.
You send
Oh, I knew this guy who had like a relationship on MySpace or whatever, and I think he got catfished or whatever
Probably.
because she, air quotes, asked him to send all these photos, and it was like stuff of like him with a boner and like him putting like a
Hell
dildo
yeah.
in his ass and stuff like that.
course.
And then she just posted them all over MySpace.
Hell
that's
yeah.
very funny.
Oh, like the
Like, it's
I fe-
horrific and
I felt
horrible.
so bad for him, but that happened when we were at uni, like probably like first year uni.
See, mine's a bit nicer. Like I there was a girl we were both. Into
I genuinely felt so bad for him.
We were both into My Chemical Romance, and then like we talked about like meeting or like going on a date or something. And then one day she just like clicked like live video and showed me her like fucking jacking herself with a dildo.
Sick.
It was like the hottest thing.
Jesus.
This is the hottest thing I've ever seen, and all I wanted to do was beat off to it. But my mom was cleaning the house around, so she's just like vacuuming while like this girl's doing this with a dildo. and
Mom,
she's
didn't
like,
you say you had to go down the shops?
Yeah, she's like, show me yours. I was like, I can't.
Yeah, that rules.
But
That's
yeah,
pretty cool.
you can't really do anything with. I mean, if you made a movie this day and age, is there a way to rewrite that scene to make it okay? Like, does it have to be even Kevin and Finch being like, "You're a fucking sex pest, don't do it," and him maybe doing it anyway, and then getting even. The guy would have to. He can't be the hero. I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like the guy who does that now would have to be the villain. The
I
same
guess
way
he
that
is-
people use people who call people homophobic slurs now as an easy. Like, I still want to fucking say the word, but I just put it in the villain's mouth, and then it's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that probably
Tarantino trick.
Yeah.
Stifler,
I'm so desperate.
Stifler probably does that in this movie, right?
Stifler never says faggot.
Really?
He says during that scene.
I swear to God, someone says fags.
Someone
or
says
something.
fag early on in the movie. Stifler says when Oz is like singing Scooby-Dooby-Dooba, he's doing it in the locker room, and Stifler goes, "Oh my God, you're gay." That's
Yeah.
it, I think.
That's not.
But like he's
as
not
bad
like
as it
attacking
could
him.
be.
He's just saying like, "Oh, you sing show tunes, that makes you gay." Which I mean,
It does.
And all
I sing a
that
show tune
jazz.
occasionally, and I'm gay.
yeah, I love a goddamn show tune.
Me too, dude.
And also, like, in the ultimate defense of this scene, Mark by Blink-182 plays, which cancels out any dangerous
very-
sexual politics.
Totally. Man,
Yeah.
that song's so good.
Iconic. Hey, do you ever have your parents awkwardly give you sex chats like Jim's dad does?
No.
Yes and no.
I
Well,
tried
your
so
dad-
hard to it. My mum tried
Your
before
dad
I went on
talked about
schoolies.
MILFs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Though I was like I was
Now,
already.
you got a very different sex chat.
Yeah.
I had my mum tried to give me the like, make sure you use a condom and blah 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 before I went on schoolies, and I was like, look, I know things, just nah, I don't want to have this conversation with you.
Mum, I know
It's too
things, I
awkward.
just love raw dogging.
My parents thought I lost.
Look,
my
I'm not going to
virginity.
lie, I actually raw dogged my first time.
You irresponsible.
I came on the beach.
Well, that's something.
Yeah.
I fucked on a cliff face once. At the
That
beach.
is so on brand for you.
Yeah, I was like 17.
The song One Step Closer by Linkin Park playing.
Doom, 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 doom. Yeah, that's some rules, dude. How good's that Jay-Z Linkin Park album? Do you know, I like unironically love it a little bit.
Can
Numb
I get an
Encore
encore?
is
Do you
like-
want more? I've never listened to
I
it.
think
Everybody loves
No
Numb Encore,
Problems and One
surely.
Step Closer, honestly, is the highlight of the album for me.
I think Linkin Park suck.
I think Jay-Z rules.
Linkin Park are
And
fucking
Linkin
terrible.
Park suck real
No,
bad.
Jay-Z is so overrated.
He had two of the best albums in hip hop
The
history,
Blueprint.
and
But
the
that
Black
he
Album.
he shouldn't
Yeah, those two.
he shouldn't be considered like in the top 3 like
No,
he
he
is.
was just the biggest in the world for a few years. Like it's just, I do like him a lot.
But yeah, Linkin Park, I remember I loved One Step Closer because it sounded kind of like...
Oh, I got so into them
'Cause it
for
sounded
their
like
first
The
2
Biscuit.
albums. Yeah, because
Yeah.
it was around
They
the same
sounded like
time.
Biscuit early.
Kind of the same way that 28 Days, their very first song, Rip It Up, sounded exactly like The Biscuit. And then they just moved to like, we're bogans and we love drinking beers.
They also loved smoking doobs.
Yeah.
Man,
And
I
crack.
wouldn't know anything about that.
But yeah, Linkin Park then, after One Step Closer...
I got
by
su-
the time In the End, every single was just In the End,
Yeah.
but with a different... Where it's like...
Yeah. I got
I
super into the first 2 albums and then almost immediately went, hang on, this is garbage.
they had the lead guitar riff from One Step Closer fucking rules. I think it's such
great.
a good
Uses,
riff.
But
uses
the-
a harmonic.
The lyrics of it
sure
are
does.
so funny. It sounds like it was written by a 12-year-old.
Shut up
like
when
an
I'm
angsty
talking
12
to you is
yeah.
like a great angsty teen bridge, though.
Yeah,
I remember
yeah.
being
Shut up
like,
when I'm talking
yeah,
to
I
you.
remember loving that. Like, shut up.
Yeah, that ruled.
It's the same way.
Well,
like,
someone does a scratch solo.
Yeah.
I liked the one song of like one latter Linkin Park song that I like. I was like 17 or 18 when it came out, and I liked it in spite of myself. Do you remember Bleed It Out?
No.
It's a
No.
heavy on the Mike Chinoda rap. It's like mostly a Mike Chinoda song.
Don't know
A
it.
Chioda? Mike Chioda?
Shinoda.
Shinoda.
Shinoda?
Shinoda.
Yeah, it's big
Like
on him,
Shinobi.
and he's a pretty fresh lyricist.
He's got some funky fresh
He's got
rhymes.
some funky fresh rhymes, dude.
R.I.P. Chester Bennington.
I kind of like used.
Ever seen him and Lil Peep in the same room? I think not.
I kind of used
Because they're both dead.
Linkin Park and Limp Bizkit as kind of like the entryway into emo, you know?
Yeah.
Where it was like, all right, well, I want this angsty stuff, but I don't want it to be quite as lame.
Yeah, it probably
I want
was.
it to be dialed down lameness by 2 notches. So it's still,
But like
It's like
new metal is like
I mean-
just as angsty and emo as emo.
yeah.
Oh,
It's
totally.
ju-
But
it's
I
just
mean,
like
I still
done by garbage rednecks and
I still
shit.
think Tell All Your Friends is a fantastic record.
Oh, totally.
I will sing it the whole way through. lyrically,
Because
it's
a lot of the emo,
awful.
but
Like-
but a lot of the emo stuff, like musically, is like good, like post-hardcore stuff.
Yeah.
It's just the
Thank you.
But, like,
terrible
even-
imagery and
like, even Fallout
lyrics.
Boy, who have matured quite a bit since, but most of their songs before were just like, "Girl dumped me, wish she was dead."
I still love Senses Fail. I think it's like such like rousing emo shit, but like some of
Yeah.
the lyrics are terrible.
Well, Buddy,
as far as emo
Buddy is
people-
a kind of a bad dude as well, isn't he?
is he?
I think.
just gonna
I
assume
think he's
so,
had like
I
some
don't-
bad dude moments, but also some real good dude moments.
From what I can gather, he is pretty switched on.
I know
I don't know.
that Thursday were always a step above that shit. They never did the kind of I hate women.
MCR never did it either.
But that,
Yeah,
that seems like
true.
a different
'Cause
branch
they
of
had-
emo.
They had
Yeah,
Jeff Rickley's
that's
tutelage.
more like a post-hardcore.
Thursday weren't the
influence and
cock
stuff.
rock emo dudes.
No.
Like,
Yeah.
They were the thinking man's emo.
writing songs about war all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
Man. Who's the lead singer? Who's the lead singer of Sayerson?
No.
I think for a second we all forgot.
Census Fail.
Census
sorry.
Fail is Buddy
Uh,
Nelson.
yeah.
Anthony Green's the lead singer of Sayerson. The guy from Circus Survive. Sayerson fucking rule, man.
Circus Survivor, right?
Yeah, I like Sayerson better.
I
Yeah,
feel like
that's
we all
cool.
forgot that we were doing the podcast for a second.
Yeah, I think so. You're probably
Who
right.
cares?
All
Who
right.
cares? I have such contempt for the people that listen to this. No, I actually love every single. The greatest
all
part.
5 of you.
Seriously, the greatest part of my day is logging into Podigy, being like, "Ooh, 30 downloads in a day." It's just like the smaller, like that. You could fit 30 people in my apartment just to be like, "Hey, Jamie, you're very funny," and
I have fit 30 people into this
Yeah.
apartment to say, "Hey, Rose, you're very funny," and unfortunately, they didn't do that. But
here's something. I mean,
I
we
used to run gigs here for context, listener.
we've probably all pretty much confirmed it by the way we've talked about it earlier. But let's bring back the Andy Hastings question of yore.
Oh yeah,
Have you You do it, man. Come on.
it
Yeah,
sounds
it's-
so much worse coming out of your mouth.
Come on, man. This is your moment to shine.
Getting close.
The Andy Hastings
I'd rather
segment.
not. I'm actually going to lean back.
You guys ever beat off to this?
Yes.
Man, I nearly beat off to it today.
Yes. I nearly beat off to it on Thursday. I was, like,
watching it. I was like, I could. No, you're too old.
I was watching it and I was
You know
like,
what? I don't reckon I did. Because I reckon I had too much, like...
Classic Rose lying.
No, Motherfucker,
that's very good, dude.
Motherfucker, I beat off to that scene in Road Trip.
Yeah.
You know I'd tell you.
You
But
will.
no, but I think I didn't do it because I knew what was coming for Jim. And it made it too awkward.
You guys ever?
Like, it didn't feel like a sexy scene, even though she was gorgeous.
No,
Like-
you can, but when you're 13, you can finish before Jim even gets in
Totally.
there.
But he's doing all the, like, awkward dancing and stuff.
Hastings is on his laptop looking at our quote page.
New one got posted 41 minutes ago.
Right.
Pretty sure a pussy is a cup holder with 2 pussies.
So are you just reading your quotes
I'm
Yeah.
retweeting it. Guys, this is a live pod retweet.
because you know that someone out there finds your quotes hysterical?
I am hysterical.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So you must have, you beat off to.
You ever?
Are we just talking about the Nadia scene?
You ever do a big old premi?
Once.
Yeah.
Never.
Once, in the pants.
How quick? Oh, in the pants.
Premature ejaculation all the time.
yeah.
Yeah, like I came very quickly, like yesterday.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. I take a long time.
I
But I reckon I've done like a 10-seconder once.
Oh, man, I've done...
You take a long time preparing you for your life as a woman. Eventually.
Yeah, exactly.
I've done like a solid 2 strokes, easy.
Yeah,
Like,
same.
For sure.
Like
Real.
a Victor lawnmower. 2 strokes and it's on, baby.
But no, I came like in my pants once. It was pretty...
I don't think I've ever come
Like no
in
contact.
my pants.
Like,
I've
yeah.
come
Wow.
very...
I don't know how it happened.
I don't know how you can do that. You need some
Never happened.
stimulation of
I
the
agree.
the
It never happened
glands, it's
before or
called.
since.
What happened in the situation? Walk us through it.
It
Oh,
must have been sort of rubbing against your underpants.
I think
or
there
something
might
like
have been
that.
some like grinding, but
Yeah,
like,
hang on. If we've ever mentioned this, is it? Well, you're Jew. You chopped?
Nah, baby.
Oh,
I'm
you're not
socked up.
circumcised. Yeah, I'm socked.
Yeah, we're all socked up.
Mm.
It's Australia 2018.
Yeah.
I am
Go
getting
in for that brutality.
I am getting a chop at some point.
Yeah.
Sure.
You're getting an extreme circumcision.
Yeah.
We're going to knock out this wall here. We're going to add a back wall.
Well, hopefully there's not too much drywall. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Get some of that wet cement. Tell us, walk us through your preemie story.
Oh man, no, we were just. It was me and a lady. We were in bed.
Do we know the lady?
No, it was my ex.
Oh, right.
But it was after. It was a bit after we broke up.
Did you do the whole like?
I was like 21.
I'm sorry, or was it not a big deal? Did you have reserves?
Us hooking up was kind of a bad idea, so it kind of was just like, oh god.
Oh, so that was your dick, like doing God's work.
Yeah,
he was like, you shouldn't be doing this. I'm gonna squirt cum into the pants.
Yeah, I was like, it was while I was at uni, and I just stayed at her house one night, like as friends.
I'm like, statistically, it seems like I should have cum in my pants at some point. Like a guy that likes that much Final Fantasy and Buffy should have come in his pants prematurely at some point. And I'm searching my mind files because it's not like I have shame thing and I don't want to say it.
Common,
I just don't think I've done
it's only happened to me once, and it hasn't even like close to happen since.
Like I've done a bunch of like very pre-cummy, but like
the time I had it was like kind of like a pretty like emotionally heightened situation. Like it was like a very like, oh god, are we doing this? What's happening? Like it was a pretty intense thing. It was pretty hard. To be honest. Like clearly I came in my fucking pants.
Yeah.
Like,
you can jack off to it later.
but yeah, no, pre-cum and during sex, that all the time, man. Constantly.
Yeah.
That's why I'm better
That's
having
just
sex.
the thing.
That's why I'm
right?
better having sex when I'm drunk.
I mean, like, really, who needs to last that long? It's pretty exhausting.
Yeah.
It's good exercise, but
Yeah, but like eventually it's like, when are they going to get to the fireworks factory, you know?
I lately, a cool thing about getting older I've found is like if I'm having sex and I'm too fucked up, or just like for whatever reason I'm just not going to come, I'm getting way better at being like, yeah, you know what, it's not happening, and stopping. That was like when I was a younger man, I really felt like I had something to prove.
So now you're getting older, you do that, and then you just turn over and like, do you want to talk about the 90s? How good was Doug?
Man, I love Skeeter, dude.
Skeet.
shut up, football head.
I love skating. I do.
Oh, do you think that here's a thing about the movie? I guess because of the whole 3-act structure and the way that you structure a movie, you have to have this point. But the blow up between the four dudes is very forced and over very quickly.
The one at the prom that's one scene long. Why does Kevin care so much about his boys getting laid?
This is my theory why because like first they made this pact and then Kevin is
kind of the leader of the pact.
But Kevin,
well, Stifler is obviously the leader, I feel.
No,
of
the
the
leader
pact.
of the pact. It was Kevin's idea.
Pact.
So
Sorry.
Kevin is all like emotionally barred up because he's pretty much got the go ahead from Tara Reid that they're gonna fuck. So he's super.
Every time you say Tara,
Yes, Tara.
really,
it's Tara Reid.
Tara.
No, in America it would be, but in Australia we'd say Tara.
Mate, if you don't.
This is called
Assimilate.
American Pie, not
Anyway, I just
Australian pie, you bloody seppos.
Absolutely derailed you. Sorry, continue.
But,
Nah, assimilate, bitch.
Assimilate or GTFO. But he's kind of on this emotional high. He's like, I'm gonna fuck Vicky, and then I think that like he's really hyped up for it. So when they're kind of low in that period saying, oh, I don't care, he's like, what? I'm fucking, like, come on guys, we've all got to be fucking tonight. And then when they kind of
he's telling his friends to rape their dad, like, what's he?
No, he's not telling them to rape. He was just saying that, like, I thought we were all gonna do this, like, and now I think the thing is that he's so happy, and then once they're kind of sad, he doesn't know how to process it because he's like, should I be sad now or should I cancel it? I obviously can't cancel it. I'm about to fuck one of the hottest girls in school. So what do you do? Like, as a teenage boy, you know how many wrong decisions you make, like, at every juncture.
Oh, totally.
No, I'm flawless.
Yeah, that's why you became a woman.
Yeah.
You're always right.
Man, I actually married Mrs. Wright.
Yeah,
Just didn't
Mrs. Robin Wright Penn. You married.
Just didn't know that her first name was Always.
Yeah, reminds me of like a story. That, like, my friend used to.
Who does that joke on stage as though it's theirs?
Surely no one. I don't think I've seen it on stage.
I swear I have.
I might have. Like, I don't.
It could be JJ.
Yeah, it's probably JJ. It's probably JJ.
JJ's got a few street jokes in the act.
I won't tell this story now. It doesn't matter. But like,
Oh wait, no, go.
No. I was just like, because otherwise we'll get too far off topic. I think that's why Kevin does that. But the blow up is still so forced, I reckon. Like,
Yeah.
and
Totally.
it lasts less than. if you put it in real
It's
time,
like a few minutes.
yeah, it's like part of the prom.
Yeah.
They're
It's
out-
resolved within 10
Yeah,
minutes. in
they're
real
out of
time.
love in the prom. They're back in love in the prom. I won't.
I think what it is, it's because the way the movie's written, it seems like they wrote 4 separate small movies. Do you know what I mean? Like
Well, for like each person's
yeah,
plot.
each person has their own arc that's kind of independent of everyone else's, but for it to be a movie, they need to all intersect. At
I
some
will
stage.
tell you-
Obviously, like start of Act 3 needs to be like the low point.
I will tell you that I have
So
read
it's forced,
I have
understandably.
read the script for this, and
Yeah.
it is very solid. Like it's a
Yeah.
well written, well constructed script.
Yeah. Man, it's like it really gets the balance right of having so many set pieces, and they're all funny. Every set piece works, and like the way they're able to do it without it seeming like you're just going from set piece to set piece, while having like some of the most famous set pieces in comedy, in like film comedy
Yeah.
history. Like,
Because at least there is a plot.
yeah, and it's like simple and basic, and his is and like Jim's plot is also very much resolved like Deus Ex Machina style. Like a woman just decides for him, and
He was used.
It's resolved for him.
Yeah.
But like it works and it makes sense. And
It's less
like-
about the plot and more about the characters, I think.
Yeah.
Right? Because the characters are all so relatable.
Totally.
And so,
Most comedies are more about the characters
Yeah.
than the plot. So it's bad the plot's almost
so it
irrelevant.
Let me
kind
tell you
of
though.
Napoleon Dynamite has no plot. Like,
Yeah, like Kevin, his career really fizzled out.
he's
Yeah.
well, we follow him on Instagram because
I believe I followed him.
yeah, you do. So
Kevin
he's,
from American Pie, if you're listening, let us know.
Well, I'm gonna tweet. I might Instagram like include him in like the ass symbol thing because I reckon. But he's like doing gigs at the Viper Room. He's a rock man now. He likes
is he a
rocking out. Yeah, he's a
musician?
guitarist.
Musician, right?
But he's flying to like some.
That's a much cooler.
He's flying to
career
some
path.
city in the Midwest to like do a retro screening of American Pie. He seems like a real cool guy by all accounts.
Oh man,
I
let's
reckon.
get him.
Yeah,
let's get him on the pod.
Because I
Talk
always
American
found,
Pie too.
I always
What about
found his,
Biggs?
I always found his character to seem very everyman and very likable.
Well, that's what I was going to say. We're nearing the end, sort of, but we still got so much kind of that we could talk about if we wanted. So out of
So
these 4
let's
characters,
just do it.
yeah.
Actually, but I do have to be somewhere at 6:30.
I
Yeah.
do not.
Well, I've got to be at Everly Comedy Club, but like we'll wrap it up within
I didn't book
15.
any gigs tonight because I was depressed. So.
Yeah, we'll wrap it up within 15-20, I reckon. But out of these 4 people, who do you identify, or include Stifler, I guess, who do you identify with the most?
As a teen, Jason Biggs.
Yeah, let's do both.
As a teen, Jason.
Well, as a
Biggs.
teen and then now.
Also,
Yeah.
to a little bit, to an extent, shitbreak. A little bit. I say a little bit of
I
shitbreak.
would,
Isn't Rose shipwrecked?
Yeah,
'Cause she can't
I would-
shit
Well,
in...
yeah, I
we're,
would,
we're talking individual.
We're talking about me.
Yeah.
I would say Finch shipwreck.
You identify with... but is that just because of the shitting thing, or do you find... Because like Finch's whole thing is that he's kind of a snob.
The fascination with the older ladies, and then to a degree,
I guess a
probably,
little
like-
bit of snobbery.
Yeah, I'm sure there's some snobbery.
Yeah, like
in
you
there.
talking about Wilco at
A
a
bit
pop punk
esoteric.
concert. Yeah.
Yeah.
So explain your one.
Oh, just because I think he feels a little alienated from his
Finch.
Yeah, from his group. He's a little different to them.
Yeah.
He's kind of a little bit. He takes himself a little bit too seriously as a teenager and stuff, which I think had a bit of that. Mostly Jason Biggs though. It's just a kind of a
And
dude
obviously-
jacking off too much.
I'm sure there's always like one that you identify with most with like sprinkles of the other. Like there's obviously a bit of Oz in me because I'm a jock.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, of
And
course.
a bit of choir chick because I've got such a beautiful voice.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I actually identify most with Stifler's mum.
Actually,
Because
that's
you
where I,
fuck
that's,
young men.
I was gonna say that's where I want to get. Cause no, that's where I
Single
want.
malt, 18-year-old.
That's where
Just
I
how
want
I
to get
like
because
it.
spoiler alert for movies down the track. But I want to eventually fuck Jim's dad.
Hell yes.
I would say so, but now you'd probably identify most with the Stiffmeister, right?
Well, I mean, if the partying stops, the thoughts start. You know what I mean?
So it's either Stiffmeister or bust.
I can't have it be quiet, Jamie. I can't.
I would say mine would be a combination of Jim and Kevin, I think.
Yeah, I'd say that.
Kind of like a guy that's like a loser that beats off too much, but also kind of like an everyman that like gets on well with people, but like
I think
And
you
has
could say I'm
a
everyman.
hot babe for a wife.
yeah. I don't think that I never identified with Finch at all. Like
Oh, really?
I found him to be a
But you
little
are
too
a
idiosyncratic.
frightful nerd.
Yeah, but he's not a nerd. He's just
You're
kind
more
of
a
a
Jason Big style nerd.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think he's more of a, like I was more
Whereas you
like
and I would say, are more Finch style nerd.
yes,
Yeah.
like that. I think he's a nerd. Like Finch is more of a nerd in that, like he's a snob about things he thinks are good. Whereas, like I was much more likely to talk about wanting to beat off to Ariel from The Little Mermaid, which Jim does, and
Yeah.
I have also done.
Yeah. No, I'm with you on that one, buddy.
Like when he said that, I was like, man. Even like to this day, when I watched it on Thursday, I was like, yeah, Ariel is hot, dude.
Why'd you watch? Oh, right.
I didn't watch The Little. I wasn't like double feature, but
Part of your world.
And so,
man,
this
good
is the
movie.
last thing I wanted to bring up, and then we can get into other stuff. But we haven't mentioned it yet. We've talked briefly about the soundtrack, and we've we've alluded to it in other episodes. But me and Hastings like basically wept when we watched Together and Sway
Such
by
a good
Big
movie.
Runga played, and then we listened to Sway by Big Runga on Spotify 4 times in a row. It is such a good song.
Me and Yvette were talking.
It's very well picked for the scene that
Me
it's
and
in.
Yvette were talking like wedding, like first dance songs the other day.
You're gonna play Sway?
Well, it's in contention. The plan was to do Eminem's by Blink-182, but
It's in
I'm
boner
not sure that I want to
contention
do that.
with
That
David
is-
Gate.
An awful choice.
Yeah,
It
so-
is so bad.
I was thinking maybe Sway. There's a few options we could.
Sway
go with.
is such a lovely song.
Yeah, it's a great song.
Like it's so romantic. It's so nice.
Yeah, it's so nice. What about
Me and Hastings basically like cried and hugged.
It's a very
while I
sweet
played.
song. Just sway my way, baby.
But now, you
But
know,
do-
I listen
it
to
is-
Sway with Jamie Joyner
I don't know
a
if
bunch
this-
of times last night.
I don't know if this is a question for this episode or the one when we do that.
That was me miming shooting myself in the head, by the way. Really,
But-
that was a visual joke.
Overall, do you think the soundtrack is better for the first one or the second one?
The second one, maybe.
Absolutely, the second.
The second one is fantastic. I had the soundtrack for the second
I mean,
one.
those-
beat off.
I don't know where it is.
When we go, when we get a Patreon and very successful, in
Yeah.
addition to Blink-182 albums, we should also do all the American Pie soundtracks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also our.
I could get into Sum 41 for the sake of the pod.
but our like.
Fucking rule.
I
That-
like what
that-
I've heard. I just don't know much of their stuff.
That's what we play at the. We'll just tell your mother where it all. Beta toga party.
Yeah.
Right. It's just the American Pie soundtracks.
Yeah, I think they have to be a little curated because they do have some terrible songs on them. Like,
true.
no
Yeah.
one needs to hear Three Doors Down, who are on the American Pie 2 soundtrack.
But you still want to be.
What song?
You know,
Kryptonite?
wistfully
no, I
remembering
think
that
it's
bit.
If I could be like that,
Yeah.
I would do anything.
Yeah, that's the
Is
one.
that
I
Three
think.
Doors Down?
Yeah.
No, that's Three. Yeah, that's Three Doors Down. Man. They also have like some. They have. Fuck.
Wait, is Kryptonite 3 Doors Down or 3 Days Grace?
no, that's Three Doors Down.
Who's 3 Days Grace?
I don't know.
Don't remember.
I think that's your old friend that you don't talk to anymore.
Yeah, all right. I'll take it.
But yeah, you could definitely put. I think in one of them, Hash Pipe is. I think that might be 3.
Do you know what's
Hash
better
Pipe
than
by Weezer.
Maybe.
Hash
I love
pipe?
hash pipe.
Crack Pipe.
crack pipe?
I got my crack pipe.
I used to smoke weed out of a pipe, but it was too hot. It was too rough on my throat.
Finch seems like a guy who would smoke out of a pipe.
Yeah.
No, but like tobacco.
Yeah, of
Yeah,
course
yeah.
it would be
My
tobacco.
stepdad used to smoke tobacco out of a corncob pipe.
I actually saw someone doing that at a
Kinda
pub
cool.
the other day, and it hurt me that I was like,
It's kind of cool,
man, I
right?
kind of want to do
It's
that.
kind of cool, right?
It's kind of cool.
It sounds so lame, but you see it, it's like, oh, man, that's
It
kinda-
seems very Kramer, but I think I want to do it.
Man.
Which is also what I thought about his performance at the Love Factory.
I haven't think about that. I got Stan again the other day. Like I re-signed up to Stan.
Yeah.
And
Seinfeld back
me
on.
and Yvette were watching Seinfeld. It's such a good show. Holds up so well. And I just.
But really, what is the deal?
What is the deal?
What
though?
is the deal?
Man, there's a bit. Oh, fuck, I don't want to just do Seinfeld. But anyway, I was watching Seinfeld with
How
Yvette.
can you come in your pants twice? I can't believe he did it even once and nothing twice.
Yo, how are you trying to come in your pants twice? It's been doing Def Jam. Hastings. How you trying to? Why are you gonna come in your pants twice? Anyway,
You yelled at him for doing the fucking Japanese
yeah, true.
thing.
Yeah, fair enough. I fucking okay. So I was watching Seinfeld, and Yvette was watching or whatever, and I go, "Oh man, I just check it out. It's like one of my favorite Seinfelds. It's like my favorite Seinfeld. You should watch it." And I just pulled up the Michael Richards Last Stand video. She'd never seen it. She'd never heard of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she was like, "Why?"
I'd never even heard that it happened.
Yeah, she was. Well, it's
Oh,
not
wow.
like, it's not that big news outside of comedy nerds. Like it's no
Oh,
one.
no.
I think it got around.
But it happened before I did comedy.
She's also
like-
quite young, so Seinfeld's not
Yeah, I
like a
suppose.
part of it. She's like 4 years younger than me, and I'm younger than you guys.
Right.
But she was like, "Why is this man saying these awful things?" And I was like, "That's Kramer." And she was like, "Whoa, what the fuck?"
She was watching the Laugh Factory
this
video.
Yeah, so we were watching Seinfeld the other day. I pulled up my favorite Seinfeld scene. And she
the
even made her
best,
watch
dude.
it.
You know what this podcast has taught me is that you have a really small bladder.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Like, what
yeah.
are you going to do if we do a live app? You're going to have to duck off to the toilet mid-fucking show.
No, I'm gonna tell people to applaud and piss in the bottles.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You just have a catheter on stage
Yeah, and then I'll
underneath your
put
toga.
no. We put them in a little bar fridge, and then we get Hastings to drink them at the end of the show.
Hey,
well,
man, do you want to do a beer bong? Winking at the audience.
I'll do it out of it. I'll do a shoey bit of piss.
Oh, no. Shoeys are so lame.
I've
so
never
gross
done a
as well.
shoey.
Neither have
I've
I.
actually never done a shoey. You'd think I would have.
I just don't think I'd want to drink out
I
of a
was the beer
disgusting
bong.
shoe.
I was the beer bong person.
I'm fucked with beer bongs.
I don't
pretty
mind
heavy.
a beer bong, but
Because
like
I-
if that's clean and sterile, a shoe has got
Because
a
I was-
foot
totally.
in it all
But
day.
I was obviously just so desperate for people to love me, so I would do like 4 beer bongs, or like people would hang me upside down, and I'd do
Yeah,
like
I've seen the
3.
photo.
stand.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, cake
Yeah,
stand,
I was
sure.
so desperate for people to love me that I started stand-up comedy. Like, I don't...
I was so desperate to
Hey,
get someone to love me
same.
that I married her.
yeah.
Do we have anything else to talk about? We're nearing like an hour 30, which is what we wanted this episode to be.
What are all the iconic bits from the movie?
Man,
that we've
Eugene Levy, though,
forgotten?
just so funny. There's the bit where he tells him to be very, very careful putting on the corsage, which is very
Oh
funny.
yeah, that's good.
There's the whole that scene where he goes through the porn magazines with Jim.
Never did it with baked goods is a very funny
Yeah,
line.
that's so funny, man. But yeah, the thing where he's going through that, and so shaved is that's so
Yeah.
funny. There's all that the opening scene with the sock and the cable, such good stuff, man.
Yeah, maybe let's talk for a little bit about, and I think it's Rose's favorite line, but in addition to it being a fantastic line, "Suck Me Beautiful," the scene is hysterical.
Unbelievable.
It's
Like,
so.
My friends.
I
call
feel
me
like it's
Nova.
so unsung, but
Yeah,
it's
it's a great
actually so
scene.
great.
Suck me.
like
beautiful.
not only is "Suck Me Beautiful" great, but the stuff he's talking about before,
Yeah, it's
like
great.
the
It's
rain,
really
is
funny.
so douchey and
Yeah,
on
yeah.
point. And then it's brought back later when fucking Stifler finds out about it and goes around yelling, "Suck me beautiful!"
Yeah,
But
that's
he-
so funny.
Like,
That's
he-
done
Complete.
so well.
He is a huge douche in the movie.
Oz.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
he's played as the guy who's actually a bit sensitive, but he's like he goes to the choir to like try and pick up choir chicks, like,
Sick.
and then fucking scats.
You know,
Oh, here's something. What, like lacrosse? No.
Yeah.
Why is that a thing?
No,
it's
me and
so
Hastings,
bad.
me and Hastings
we're
were
actually
talking
the
about joining a
co-captains of
lacrosse
the-
team.
Oh
afterwards.
no!
We're
That-
starting
that
an
has-
open mic
that
lacrosse
has
league.
that
Yeah.
has just not made its way to Australia.
No, and I think it's very popular in American high schools and maybe even colleges, but then the pro options go nowhere. Because you've got your
'cause
They
football,
even mention that
because
in the
no
movie.
one
Yeah.
actually.
You go, what am I going to be?
because you've
Professional
got well,
lacrosse?
you've
No
got
one
your, like
actually
your
wants to
football,
watch it.
baseball, basketball, hockey.
Yeah.
But lacrosse is like
And also,
right
but even,
there
like,
in terms of high school.
Wrestling
Yeah, but
goes,
it's just shitty.
wrestling's big right up to the end. I feel like college wrestling is
Yeah,
huge.
but that's
Yeah.
like Greco-Roman. It's not like WWE.
no, I'm
wrestling,
not talking
right?
about
No.
pro wrestling. I'm just talking about the sport of wrestling.
I just saw you wanted to shoehorn
No.
Hollywood Hulk.
I only
Hogan
know
into
about it
this.
because I know about like Brock Lesnar and stuff, and they have like amateur backgrounds. And
Yeah, right.
yeah. It's like a big thing. The I just like I know what people think. It's just like Hastings. He's just this kick-ass open micer. But I also have a podcast. Yeah.
That's a great Oz quote. You should do that more, and then just say "suck me, beautiful."
Suck me, beautiful. I don't know, man. What's the worst way you've ever asked to get your dick sucked?
I wish
I
I could say
don't-
I said "suck me, beautiful." To be honest,
I don't know if we've told this story on the pod. I
Great.
feel like maybe we have, but I was out the front of a party once making out with this girl, and she started to like go down, and I was like, "Oh, baby!" And then she brought her head up again, and I was like, "Oh, okay." And she went, I don't think I could do that actually unless we were dating." And I said, "Marry me."
Yeah. That has
That's
been told
funny.
on the pod, and it's still very good. What's
It's-
your one?
It's probably the quickest I've ever been.
When I
Slob
was
it.
19, my girlfriend was like, "If you buy me these pajamas, I'll suck your dick." So I'd like hit buy online. Just did it. Like,
Yeah,
just
that's
fucking
sick.
copped it, dude. That was pretty cool.
I don't think I've ever said anything like real bad.
I once bought a girl pajamas so she'd suck.
Peter
my dick.
Alexander,
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
of course,
no-
man. I mean,
nothing-
I get that good shit.
nothing
Dude.
but the best.
I'm not getting sucked off for Kmart apparel. Need that
What-
top tier A+ shit.
You want those Simpsons pajama pants that you came over
Yeah.
here yesterday? in?
Well, I was gonna
I actually
wear
like
them
the
here
gingerbread
today as
ones.
well, but I went for a beer before.
both pairs.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's good, right? Unless we have anything more to talk about.
That is some confident podcasting right there, Jamie. I think that's good. Is that? Are we? Oh, okay.
Was that all right? Yeah. Was that okay? Did that feel good?
Man.
I was segueing into more Marin-esque territory so I can interview Hastings about his depression.
The other day, no, I feel better today than I did yesterday. I feel okay today.
Is that because you're not coming down from cocaine?
Yeah, and you've
like
had,
absolutely,
and you've
yes.
had 3.
Like, transparently, yes.
Yeah,
Like,
and you've had.
it was more the Ritalin than the coke anyway.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
you've had
you've had
3
more.
beers as opposed to 1.
And you've also had more sleep, I presume.
Yeah, I had like a good night's sleep last night. I had a chill day. I'm like in a good mood.
Yeah, but I'm happy with
Don't get
that.
me wrong, I still feel like I'm growing a cancer inside me 100% of the time.
That's the cancer.
Yeah, probably. I still feel like I have a bowling ball inside my stomach.
That's the bowling ball.
Yeah, it's probably all these bowling balls I ate.
Look, I think
And
this has
by
been a good
volleyballs-
ep of good spirits, and we should just
But I'm doing all right
nip
now.
that in the bud.
Yeah,
Good.
guys, come to Powerbomb Comedy Club and Wayward's Comedy Club every
If you go to
Friday and
UTS,
Wednesdays.
go to Comedy at the Loft.
Oh yeah, that's a
And
good
come
one to
to
do.
comedy at
We had our debut show the
Papagetti's
other night. It was
third
very
Tuesday
good.
of every month. It's
Yeah.
a professional show.
Go to Papagetti's. It's a great show. It's always full. It's a lot of fun.
If you're a woman, if you're a person of color,
Jamie just looked at me like,
We're
I did a nice one for you.
we're trying to
Gotta
encourage.
keep you on your toes.
Yeah, we're trying to encourage like people who aren't like straight white men to get involved in more comedy. So if you go to this open mic, Papagetti's, you'll
Oh,
get
you dirty dog.
So like, just if,
dirty
we're always
dog.
looking for more.
I didn't say that. I said it's a great show.
You-
Great MCs usually. Maybe there was one a few months ago. I can't remember when I did it, but
Was it Emma Zammit? No,
yeah,
she's doing it.
she's fantastic. Yeah,
on
she's
Tuesday.
doing it recently with
She's
Tom
doing it.
Cashman headlining, which will be a great show.
Yeah, and this
Um,
will be out like probably 3 weeks after that show.
True. So it was a great show. Cashman crushed.
In retrospect,
Emma Zammit was sick. I filled in and did a great job.
I wonder how she got
Serious
sick.
knee injury the day before the show.
Yeah.
Well,
I
when
was
she-
watching I, Tonya, and I was like, me
She actually
thinks
did
I
have a
doth
knee
have an
injury when she
idea.
turned up. Well, she had a foot injury when she turned up here to do the pod.
What else? Oh, email us at weateitall69@gmail.com with movie recommendations or other bullshit. Or
I still
news
have a
facings.
GoFundMe that's
Yep.
just going to staying up for the, foreseeable future.
Review the podcast.
Yes.
If I don't have to work, my mental health will get better and the podcast will be better. So get this
Yes,
shit huge.
making us rich would do wonders for Andy's self-esteem.
Yeah.
Should be great.
Absolutely.
I think that's it. And, well, this seems like the most appropriate way to go out. To the next step.
To the next step.
One time only to the next step.
Yeah.